Guys, James here today and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Today, we're just going to be experimenting and playing around with the brand new platforms because there is so much potential and possibility with them. And now that the game update is out for everyone, meaning you guys can go download the update and play with this too, we're starting to see some really cool things being created. And the Sims community have a great post that lists a few really cool creations. So I want to try some of these for myself and maybe do my own spin on them. There's this one by Little Dika that is using platforms to create like actual basement windows that kind of make more sense instead of a giant well. So for example, we used to have to do something like this with a basement. So if we wanted like a basement window wells or something, we'd have to do like this. We get a few little sections like this, and then we could remove the ceiling. We could always do this. This is just how it has always been. So we'd do something like that, and then we'd have windows down here, which is all well and good. I mean, it's not bad. And this is something that does happen in the real world. So it is something that you do see, but it's also not as common as just having little windows above ground level. So this is what this would look like. Now, what Little Dika did instead is pretty much the same thing. But if we then remove all of this, and just to make it easier, I'm going to combine all of these. And then we just raise up the floor in this little room. So it goes all the way up, pretty much as high as we can. And within reason of still fitting windows in, I might have to lower that a little bit more. Then we can fit the windows in this little section here. I mean, they seem to be really squishing in the top there. But we can then fit these guys all in here. And then we have like a really shallow window well instead of one that's really deep down. And one thing that you could do to make it even a little bit better is if I do move objects, I would probably try and maybe if we just drag this out, I mean, at the moment it's kind of just like a lowered square. So if we maybe put like some grass on it like that, I mean, obviously that's still not great. It's not perfect, but I think it's a hell of a lot better. But with move objects, we can then also maybe move this up a little bit more. So then it is a little bit shallower. So the windows are kind of just in there. And then we could definitely disguise this if we wanted, or just turn it into a feature. Maybe if we turn it into more of a plaza kind of situation, that might work quite well. I mean, I guess for a residence, it doesn't make as much sense, but we could definitely do something like this. Although for some reason, it doesn't allow me to put stairs there. I was having this problem actually when I was playing around with them before. I'm not quite sure why that doesn't allow me to do stairs there when it really should. There's no reason it can't do that. Apparently it's intersecting with a wall. I'm not sure why, so I guess you'd have to do stairs like this, which is, yeah, not ideal. I guess maybe a better way to do a plaza then would be to actually just use platforms themselves. Though one thing to keep in mind if we're doing this, these are two different levels. Technically, this is the basement and this is the ground floor. So when your Sims go between two levels, even if it is only one step. Oh, also, this is something incredible. I don't know if anyone knew about this before. This is completely unrelated, but someone mentioned this on Twitter. Let me find out who. I can't seem to find it. I was just scrolling down my Twitter for like a week. Someone mentioned that you can change the level that the grid is on by holding down shift when you press page up and page down. And you'll see it's not technically changing the level we're on, because you can see we're still on the top level, but we can lower the grid down. So it's down here now, we go up a level, it's on the ground floor, then it's up here, then up there, which is actually kind of really a hidden amazing tip. I did not know that was a thing. So if you want to move the grid between levels without changing levels, really, really handy. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent, so let's put this back in here. So yeah, a Sim can walk from here to here because these are just the same level, but this little wall here is not the same level. And I don't know if we is it gonna let me it's still not letting me put stairs there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It really doesn't like there being walls there for some reason. And quite frankly, I'm not sure why. Maybe if I place it from the top. No, that doesn't help. What if I place it from the bottom? No, that doesn't help. I don't know. I don't seem to be able to get it to work. It's kind of annoying as well. I mean, you can still do stairs, but it's definitely not going to look as good if you have to have them stick out by a block, by a grid. So it'd have to be like this. Like this would work, but I hope that they fix this issue because obviously some stairs are going to look better than others, but like not ideal. But yeah, there you go. You can get some more realistic looking basement windows, which is actually really nice. So that was an idea by Little Dika. Let's see what other ideas people came up with. By Nando, we had this sweet diving platform. That actually looks pretty cool. Don't know if surely that can't be functional. I don't know if a Sim could use that, but very cool. Now, this is what I was really interested in, is this bunk bed situation, because I want to see if I can recreate this, because that's actually really cool. So they've hidden a platform behind the bed, so it looks like a bunk bed in the front, but this bed is technically placed on this upper platform. This one's on the lower one. And they look like they're directly in line with each other, but I don't know that they are. One might be like fractionally over a little bit so it pops up, but we're going to try that right now. Oh, and Pug Owned S was the one that came up with this, or at least shared this image of it. All right, let's see what we can actually do here. So I guess first off, we'll just make a pretty simple room. Or not, I guess. Oh, I have no money. Well, that's a problem. Right, okay, now I'll make a pretty simple room. We'll just go over here. Let's get some lights in here. So I guess first thing we're gonna wanna do is, let's just get a bed down the bottom. So we're gonna get a bed down here like this, looking good. Oh, actually, apparently there's also a column update, which I don't. So now we can rotate these to 45 degrees, and apparently if you hold Alt, oh, no, I guess not. I thought they said they had free rotation now. Or did they just mean like on the side here? No, you still can't rotate them on corners. They did say there was free rotation, but I'm not sure how you're supposed to do that if you can't click and drag them. Oh, that's nice. Page up, page down, home and end keys now work in free cam mode. So when you go into like the tab mode and live mode, that's actually really handy. So if we were to go back to live mode here and then press tab, this is the free cam mode. Previously, you wouldn't be able to go between levels in this mode. You'd have to back out and then go to level, then press tab. So, whoa, okay, well, I think I found a bug with it. All right, we're back. Whoa, okay. Have I broken this now? What's happening? All right. Top tip, don't go into free cam mode and use page up and page down because apparently it doesn't work. Am I good now? I think we're good now. Yeah, maybe don't use that. It's nice that it's there, but I don't think it works very well. And if that ain't a summary of the Sims 4, I don't know what is. Oh yeah, so columns can now rotate 45 degrees and in free rotation. Spin them right round, simmers right round. But how do I do the free rotation? Because normally with an object, if you have it like this, you just hold down Alt and then you can rotate it like that. So that's how you do the free rotation normally, just by holding down the Alt key. But because columns are a weird, like you can see, you can't even click and drag them. They're different. They change it in the column update when we could change the height of them, which is really nice. But I'm not sure how you're supposed to do a free rotation now because you can't. I don't know what that meant. Slash also, it's nice that we can do this, but the same problem remains when they're on a wall, you can't change the rotation. And for a lot of columns, this is not a big problem. But when it comes to ones that are like this, it looks really silly because one on a corner will go like that, the other one will go like this. And there's nothing you can do about it because it doesn't let you rotate them. So even if I rotate them, it'll just flip to the inside wall, not just stay out here and rotate, even if I rotate it first. So that didn't really seem like, it's nice that we can do 45 degrees and supposedly free rotation, but I don't know, that doesn't seem like it really is that useful. Anyway, back to the sweet bunk bed idea. So let's do a platform behind this bed. Oh, I guess I might need to rearrange where that bed is. Right, so we're gonna do a platform here. This is gonna start going up. Nope, not that one. Nope, undo please. There we go. This is gonna start going up. So this needs to be, I guess, high enough that, well, I mean, I might need to make my walls taller, but it needs to be high enough that this bed can place above, but also have enough room that some get underneath. Oh yeah, so this is how you wanna do it. So, okay, let's also change the color of this because this is really sad at being all blank in here. How about some beautiful pink walls? There you go. Right, so this one is on the ground, and then with move objects enabled, if we place up here, you can see we can actually place the bed sort of hanging over the edge. And now, at the moment, we can only go to there and then it drops down. But if we hold down Alt, like we were trying to do with the columns, this will now slide out. And you can see it gets to the point where it'll then drop down. So really what we want to do is get it to the point where it's just about to drop down, but doesn't quite. So I would say probably about there. And then if we do the same with this bed and slide it in until it pops up and then slide it back, that's how we're going to want to do it. So that will get us to the two beds on top of each other. Though this is pretty close. I don't know if this is going to have enough room, but we're going to try it out. And then all they did was actually add columns to it. Oh, actually, you know what? Pug owned probably did something smarter. Because are those even column? Okay, NBN Enterprise Internet, thank you. Are those even columns? They might just be, they're probably debug items or just one of the columns you can get in the game. Yeah, because columns are not going to line up with our bed. So Pug owned had already thought of this. There's this one from Seasons. It's a little tall though, but you could scale it down. It kind of looks a little thin though at this size. So there's definitely better items to use, but something like that would work, for example. Or if we go bb.show live edit objects. Now I'm sure there's some item in here that we could use. We could use this light post, I guess. Or, so many cool items in here. I always forget how many cool things are in here. A tire, sweet. Sorry, this is not what I'm supposed to be looking at. Oh, here we go, like this. This might even be what they use, I don't know. It looks similar, but maybe not quite. Yeah, so if we just use like one of these debug items, we can then create just a post of the bunk bed like that. Then I might just bring this wall in one because it doesn't need to be that far out. I probably could have slid these bunk beds over a little bit so it's actually against the wall. That I think would look nicer, but that's fine. This is just for educational purposes. So we just do that. And maybe let's give it a nice floor in here because this is kind of gross. We could even make this a little smaller or we could do some more details up here. I don't know if my adult sim can fit up there. I guess we'll find out. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna need a door first. All right, so let's go. First of all, let's go in the room. Make sure the room is functional. Looks like it is. I don't know if this sim is going to be able to fit in these beds. I might have done these too close, but we'll see. Okay, the bottom bed works, which is nice. Very nice. Okay, you can get out of that. Can she even fit upstairs, though? She might be too tall. Oh, no. Wait. No. I don't think she can. I think she's going to complain. Yeah. All right. Well, a child sim could actually fit up there, but because she's an adult, she's too tall. But we can just do this. We'll just make the walls taller. Right, so now she should be able to fit up there. Let's just have a look. Yeah, there we go. So if you get a problem with a sim not being able to get up to a platform, it's probably because they're too tall. Now, let's see if she can get into this one. Oh, voting's closed. No! Yeah, so there you go. That's really, really cool. I can't believe how quickly people have made functional bunk beds again. We used to be able to do this before the terrain update. You used to be able to place beds up higher and a sim could use it. And then that stopped working for whatever reason. But with platforms, it seems to be back again. So if you want to make functional bunk beds, you'll have to do a sort of stair setup like this and a platform behind it. But that totally works. And then going back to what Pugone did, they had this sweet platform around the back and a nice bookcase and a little desk setup. So it actually makes it fully functional and really, really nice. So all credit to them because that looks great. Now what I would like to do is see if I can recreate a house from The Sims 3, just a really simple one, because The Sims 3, pretty much every house I built in it used some degree of constrained floor elevation, which is basically a cheat where you could adjust the height of walls and essentially do what platforms are allowing now, but with a little bit more freedom. So platforms are more restrictive, but they give us almost the same level of control, if not more, than what we had before. We obviously can't do everything like curved walls and stuff like that. But if we go back to my old Sims 3 download area and go back before Luna Island, good times. Like for example, we won't be able to do something like this because this whole roof is actually a whole level of the house that I use constrained floor elevation to make. But we could do, for example, this sunken living area now in a sweet, tacky 70s house. But this is not the one I want to recreate because this house will actually be really hard to remake because the roof will not look like that at all. I reckon this little one here, beginnings, here we go, from 2013. This uses a lot of constrained floor elevation on the roof, and it gives us really nice thickness on the roof that we can actually now redo. So if we have a look at the rest of the photos of this is totally possible to remake it, which I think is actually really, really cool. Because before, there's no way we could do this. Like we could maybe use half walls to fake that, but it wouldn't look the same. So before we get into actually recreating that house from The Sims 3, I saw Dr. Gluon had actually demonstrated how you could use platforms to make like curved walls. Not really walls, obviously just solid pieces of platform. But in that sense, we could actually make like a circular house. So if we got 4 of these, we're actually just gonna have to cut this off. Can I cut it there? I think I can. Yeah, so if we just cut off these extra little bits, like this, remove the walls. So now we have a perfect sort of semicircle here. No, it's not a semicircle, a quarter circle? What do you call it? Semicircle, there we go. Then we just do 4 of these together. We now have a perfect circle and we can actually remove the middle section. So, like I said, circle house. Oh, it doesn't even want me to do that. Okay, we can do this. I think it just has to be a little bit smaller than what I thought. Circle house, we can remove the center now. Whoops, we can remove that. All right, let's remove the walls. Actually, no, I'll keep the walls in because that's what we need to aim for. Make those a little bit smaller. Then to make the walls, we just go like this. They go straight up like that. So then we have a circle. This is actually livable space in the middle. I know it may not look like it, and it is really stupid, but you could do this. I mean, the only way to get into this area would be with a ladder or something from underneath. And if you wanted to create a roof on this, what you would do is just clone the lower section, put it up top, and then just lower it back down to no height at all. Remove the walls in the middle. So now we just have a flat circle of flooring, which is perfect. Then we just get a floor trim, put around the side, whichever one sort of covers up the gap, basically. So like this one here, or like this one, no. Steel girder could work nicely. Yeah, any of these floor trims that sort of cover a little bit of height, they basically cover the gap. And you just chuck a roof on top, and boom, you got your sweet circle house. Let's bring this out, bring this, oh God. Bring that down a little bit, and bring those in. Can I do a little less than that? Why does it have to go so far down? I just want like a little bit more. Just like a little roof trim on this. Look at this, it's beautiful. I mean, can you have windows in this thing? No. Can you have any doors on it? No. Is there any practical use to building this? No, but it is totally usable. So let's just create an entrance. So we're gonna say, this will be our entrance. What we're gonna do is have a ladder there, a ladder out here. And now our sim can go inside the circle house. I mean, there's definitely better ways to use this for curved walls, but just for demonstration purposes, you can do this, which is kind of cool. Like this alone opens up a lot of possibilities with builds. And if we were to do something more practical with this, I would make it a lot smaller. So we could use like this small little section here, for example, maybe just a couple curved walls like this. And then you can create some really actually interesting Art Deco looking builds, to be honest, like, because you don't need to have windows on the curved sections. So if we did something like this, and then we're just going to build a second level over the same area. This is a simple floor trim there to hide it up. So then we can have that section there as curved walls at this upper level here. And you can create something that is starting to look a lot more Art Deco inspired. And these sort of act as full walls now, rather than just having a curved balcony. You can have full curved walls, which is really cool. So there are actually practical uses to doing this than just a stupid circle house that makes no sense. So it's a really cool idea, and I think there's a lot of potential there with that. But now, let's actually recreate my Sims 3 house, which should be pretty straightforward because it is a starter home. So I think it was something like this. So that was our front facade, which is pretty simple to get down. Then I just got to look at some other angles here to get the look and feel of the side. I'm not sure how far that is. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest. We can see this side of the house there though. Right, so I think I've figured it out. It is an extremely weird layout when you look at it like this because of all the columns. But now we can actually start adding in the architectural elements of this build that were on the next level. And it's definitely going to be approached in a different way than we would have done it in Sims 3, but I think it's really cool how this is actually going to function. So this whole section actually goes all the way to the back of the house. So this goes to here and then it actually sort of continues to that point. And then it comes out this way and covers this whole section along to there. Now this is all the same height, so this actually goes up to 4, like that, and that should already be looking like what we have on the original, which is sweet. And now to easily add on the next section, we just do another platform on top of this. Just go straight back. Okay, it's supposed to go further than that. Straight back, and then this one goes straight out here. And actually this is gonna end up better than the Sims 3 version because this actually blends seamlessly together, whereas in Sims 3, you can see there's actually a difference in the depth of the wall because this is the platform tool in The Sims 3 and then these are actual walls. So they don't line up quite as well. Funnily enough, looks better in The Sims 4. So there you go. Then this guy's gonna come out and just cover this section. And then down here, we have this little section in the back, which is actually just a single height platform that runs around like that. And that is pretty much all the platform work we have to do in this build to create it the same way we did in The Sims 3. Now we're just gonna add the roofs in, which are really, really simple. So this will just line up basically with the top of the wall here. We'll just bring in this eave there so it lines up perfectly. Very easy. I might even neaten it up a little bit in the Sims 4 because Sims 3, we couldn't drag in the eaves, but here we can. So I'll actually just do that. So it doesn't overlap that section there and it stays separate. And then we just had like a corrugated sort of texture on the roof, like that guy there. Yeah, there we go. And then it's basically the same thing over on the other side, except it's a little bit bigger because it goes a bit further, but it will still line up with the top of the platform. So something like that. I'm not sure what's going on there, why that's disappeared. It's come back now though, so that's fine. So that is it. Well, that's not it, but like that is the essence of the build recreated. And I'll tell you what, this is a lot easier to do in Sims 4. If you did this in Sims 3, you'd be playing around with constrained for lower elevation, trying to get it all to work together. But of course, there's advantages to that over this one. But I feel like a lot of the Sims 4 build mode is way more accessible, but limited in certain areas. But I think it makes up for it in the way that you can handle it all. Like just the fact that you can then actually just pick up the entire house. I don't know, like this is such a cool feature that going back to The Sims 3 makes building so much harder. It's like if you just want to move something, like even the fact that I can now, if I'm like, oh, I don't actually want the house there, I want it here, you know, like just doing that alone as well is huge. Like you could not do that because then we can just go like this, give it a, you know, some terrain under it. I don't know why I would do this, but just let's say I wanted to. I've just buried my sim alive. Oh, she's back, it's fine. Yeah, like we could do that. And then if we're like, nah, I don't want that. Let's just re-flatten the lot, bring this back down and it's all fixed. And then maybe I just want to move this house back to like front and center, you know? I don't know, like just all of this stuff together is so nice. It's a shame that it's taken this long to get all this stuff in Sims 4, but it's nice that it's coming. And we can only hope the same is true for live mode and create a sim, that even though it has taken so long, hopefully things will get better, because Lord knows there's some problems in this game. But anyway, I digress. Let's build the rest of this. So I want black bricks with white mortar. I don't actually know that that exists, does it? Yeah, no, here we go. That's what I want. Perfect. This will match my Sims 3 build easily. All right, then, so that's pretty much that section. Then we have like a light blue, and a gray sort of mortar color. Well, first of all, let's just say base game, because I don't feel like we don't need to use all the packs on this. You know what? I was expecting this to look ridiculous, but it's actually kind of similar to what we're after. I mean, it's a little bit more saturated, but it might actually work. See what other blues we have? Oh, something like this actually might be good. Even though it's just paint, that's kind of closer to what we're after. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use this paint. Right, then pretty much everything else that isn't blue is now gray. So do we have a nice gray that we can put with this? Actually, this is pretty good. Does this have a blue? If this has, oh, you know what? This blue's even better. It's textured. All right, well, I'm using this one then. Right, so everything else is gray. Now, you might be wondering, how am I gonna paint this the same as that? Oh boy, it is simple. We're just gonna use half walls. And I really wish, like, it's really nice that we have all these half walls, but I really wish there was an easier way to get the height that you wanted, because this is somewhat challenging. Anyway, at least it's not that hard to apply them, so we can just like click around. Then I need one that's one taller to go around all these sections, and these inner bits we don't want to forget. Perfect. And then we don't want to forget even these little sections here, because these will need the wall painting too. Now what they need to do, they need to create a half wall trim that is like slimline and the same width as a half wall, because we have all these trims, but none of them line up like perfectly with where the half wall is. They all sort of stick out over it. It'd be nice if there was one that was like perfectly in line, or even one that was just like flat, just a flat color, kind of like how we can recolor the floor edges with just like this really slimline one. No, not that one, this one, where it's like pretty much in line with it all, and you can just select a blank color. Like that would be nice to just put on top of a half wall. But anyway, we'll deal with this for now. So that will allow us to paint all of these, which I believe every single one of them is gray, so that's fine. It's pretty easy to do. We gotta make sure to paint the inner section of it too, even though we can't see it, it sticks out here. So we gotta make sure to paint the inside too. That should be good. Then we're just gonna paint all the columns that stick down. And now everything's gray. The only other thing we need to do is actually do the flooring on top, which is supposed to be pretty much the same color as the walls. I don't know how close I'm gonna be able to get to that. I mean, actually, something like that's probably all right. It's not perfect. Then we gotta try and get a wall trim that doesn't look too dumb, which I guess is just gonna be a gray wall trim. Because quite honestly, I'm not sure what else we could do here. That one might be a little bit better. And then the edges of the roof as well. Make those black. Yeah! Then we just have the little floor trim as well that we gotta do, which probably also just would be gray if I can just, I don't know if I can just select this, because it seems to want to do the whole thing. Which I guess is fine, we'll just have to do that. Or maybe we just leave it. It's not ideal. You know, if we could just change the ceiling. You know, that's kind of the next thing, right? There's just, let us change the ceiling. Oh, why has this been so long? Just let me change that. Anyway, moving on. Doors and windows. Actually, Snowy Escape has the right sized windows to put here. I don't actually have that in my game right now. So we're actually not gonna have the same windows or doors. Actually, doors, we can probably do the same thing. The doors, for some reason, I did like a set of double doors like this, and then I'd put, well, and then it had like windows above it. I think that was part of it. I don't know, but I'm just gonna do it manually. Actually, that needs to go a little bit higher. Okay, no, I'll just have to do it manually, just a little bit higher, like there. These windows are definitely too big, because the original build had much smaller windows, but just gonna roll with it. You know what? Let me put Snowy Escape on. Batu. I swear, Batu came with a lot of really good like build stuff. It's just a shame that it came in that pack. Do we have tiles similar to what I used? I guess that'll do. There you go. That's pretty much the build. I mean, I haven't done the inside because it's not really a build video. This is more just to demonstrate the fact that we can build these sort of things that we used to be able to do. They're back, baby! Split level builds are back, and there's so many cool ideas out there. Like, I just showcased a few of them in this video, the bunk beds and the basement windows. There's so much more. There is so much more to check out, so much more to play around with. If you have any more ideas, let me know down below, and we'll have more videos playing around with platforms, trying out different things. Maybe we should try and build a circle house that is actually kind of good. I don't know how we would do it, but it could be fun. Actually, no, I just want to try something real quick before we go. So that's, I can kind of like do archways to another level. It's kind of glitchy, considering you can just sort of see through. I wonder if there's a way we can use that. Probably not. I don't know how I would utilize that space, but you can apparently put arches into half walls. If I try to move them, they'll go back up. I did that with move objects. I basically place them down first, then move the platform up. Don't know if that's useful, but anyway. Yeah, we can actually build a kind of cool house with it though. Yeah, thanks for watching guys though. I will see you next time. We will be checking out Snowy Escape soon. Though I guess I should say thanks to EA Game Changers for making this house build possible, because I put the windows in here from Snowy Escape. So there's that. Thanks for watching guys. I will see you next time, and have an awesome day.